This is not just a podcast. It's a masterclass on life coaching from one of the most respected coaches and mentors in India, Dr. Anish Rakheja, an internationally certified professional coach with over 30 years of experience working with the global leaders from billion-dollar corporations and executives from United Nations. He is known for his extraordinary insights into Vedic philosophy, human personality, and the depths of human consciousness. In his coaching, he explores a deeper question: who are you in essence beyond your personality? As he says, coaching isn't just about performance, it's about realizing who you truly are.
The question is, in our life, when we are living, who is to be in the center? That's where selfishness comes in.
Okay.
We be our own center. Nobody else can be in our center. Neither our parents nor our kids, nothing. Put yourself in the center and then start operating in the world. Now, is the center dependent on the circumference or the circumference is dependent on the center? Circumference is dependent on the center. Rest, everything is on the circumference. How do we live? जी हम दूसरों के लिए जिएंगे. The moment you say you start living for the others, who's come into the center? The other has come into the center. Where have you moved? You have moved out of the center to the circumference. And the moment you lose your natural position of being in the center, discomfort starts coming in, discontent starts coming in. Hold on to your center. Hold on to your mantra करना है ना, ओम भूर्भुवः या जो भी करते रहते हैं. Hold on to your center. Hold on to your center. Hold on to your center and throw. You see the magic happening. You see the magic in the relationships. You see the magic in the working.
Thank you so much for coming, Anishji.
Thank you, Dhruv, for having me here.
Anishji, I generally talk about that manifestation, that, matter is a manifestation of energy. And I remember I heard you 2 years back when you were explaining it so beautifully through a scientific, but a very simple and a clear way of why this line that matter is not only a manifestation of energy, but energy is a manifestation of consciousness. Einstein, when he came out with his theory of relativity, and he said E is equal to mc square. Energy is equal to mass into the square root of the speed of light. And that's when it was proved that matter, let's forget consciousness. Let's go one step at a time. That matter is a manifestation of energy. और ये आप खुद जब एक बारी बता रहे थे, we go on the quantum mechanics of it. तो ये तो science भी prove कर रही है ना?
What is, so if anything exists, let's say there is this cup.
Oh, that's stable.
Yeah, or there's a table or anything. So there is there is some stuff in it, and there is a structure. So two things.
Yes.
Stuff and structure. So for anything to exist, a matter or anything to exist, two things are required: stuff and a structure. Correct?
Okay. Stuff is what
it is.
You feel.
And structure.
Okay.
And structure, right? Very simple. I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. So stuff and structure, दो चीजें चाहिए. Stuff and structure. Let's start analyzing the stuff.
Okay.
Right? So any stuff, what is it made up of? It made up of cells.
Acha, we're going beneath the surface. Yes.
Yeah. So very simple. Any matter is made up of cells, atoms. So and this is where we used to stop, atoms. So बहुत जगह अणु आता है उसमें scriptures में. Molecules, anu means just small. So atoms is something which is small. Anu just means small. So atoms, let's say. And we say this is the end. This is the stuff is made up of atoms. And we all were very happy. Oh, stuff is made up of atoms. Suddenly one day science realized, hang on, no. That's not the end of the story. There are things called subatomic particles that exist: proton, neutron, electrons. So which means, okay, the stuff is not made of atoms, it is made of subatomic particles. Fair enough. Proton, neutron, electrons. And we were again very happy for many, many decades. You know what? The stuff, and जब हम लोग ने science पढ़ी,
तब हमने इसे पढ़ा था.
यही पढ़ा था कि proton, electron, neutrons करके होते हैं. There is this nucleus which has protons and
moving around
neutrons, and electrons are moving around, and this is what makes an atom. An atom combines to make a molecule, and molecule combines to make whatnot, and the matter, the stuff exists. कुछ समय के बाद पता लगा no, ये proton, electron, neutron नहीं है. These are further broken down into.
That's further subatomic level.
Further subatomic level. And ऐसे करते Dhruv, the matter starts disappearing.
Yeah.
And today we have reached which is called the superstrings. Superstrings are nothing but mathematical structures. Where is the matter?
It's mathematical structures. Like
superstrings are only mathematical structures. There is science community is absolutely in a shock because where is matter? So we heard about this word called the heart problem of consciousness, David Chalmers. The heart problem is not of consciousness. The heart problem is of matter. Where is matter? Because the more that we dig deep into the matter is disappearing in front of our eyes.
Yes.
Where is matter? So if stuff is not there, think this carefully. Where we started with? For anything to see stuff
and structure.
Stuff is disappearing. If there is no stuff, think about something where there is no stuff, only structure. What do you call that? When there is no stuff, only structure. It's an illusion. Any illusion has no stuff, only structure. So is the matter an illusion? Is it an appearance? This is precisely what the scriptures, the whole Vedanta, the whole Advaita actually talks about this. Brahm Satya Jagat Mithya.
So this proves, right? This proves for even the scientific community, जैसे आप बता रहे हो, that they've reached कि पहले atoms के अंदर they saw protons, electrons, neutrons, which also had an atomic mass. तब तक हम believe करते थे, ये हमने physics में पढ़ा था उस time कि atomic mass है, weights निकालते थे. Then you go to further down and you come to quarks. Quarks से जाते नीचे I was reading superstrings आ गए, which is just as you said a structure, which is consciousness. Because आज वही atom ये table भी form कर रहा है. वही atoms अगर हम उस level पे जाएंगे, then they are same, right? अगर मैं deeply penetrate करूं इस glass के atoms को और इस table के atoms को, इस metal के atoms को, we'll come to a level where they all exist same.
Just be a bit careful in this. This logic works when there is non-duality.
Okay.
When there is just one. The moment, let's say, simple example, there's another, okay. There are many theories of consciousness. Like, to the last count, I actually, at one point, I started counting. This was almost 3 years back. So I really started reading and got so excited about the consciousness stuff that I actually started counting the number of theories that existed. And this I'm talking almost 3 years back. And I stopped at 322.
Oh my God.
I stopped.
These are 322
theories of consciousness. I stopped at that. I stopped.
Okay, which one is it which seems most relevant to your understanding?
Again, Dhruv, at that point, something else resonated with me because the theories are just theories. Yeah. And each one theory as crazy as the other theory.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's remember, these are just theories. I stopped at that point. I said, this is not taking me anywhere. I mean, this is nothing but a mental gymnastics, nothing beyond that. I stopped at that. I said, okay, let me go experiential. What does it really mean? One is I can continue going on theories and theories, reading about theories, filling my head with all sorts of stuff coming in, knowing very well that stuff doesn't exist. So it's an illusion. But I realized the futility of all these theories. You know, in all this chaos, if you look at a storm, It's the eye of the storm where the total calmness is there.
Yes, yes.
There is an absolute chaos outside, a storm brewing outside. The eye of the storm is the calmest point. When all this theories, stuff, you go beyond those, you enter into the eye, a peace descends on you. And from that peace, when all this is just, you're beyond those. And that point, Bhagavad Gita emerged for me.
Beautiful.
At that peace, at that point.
So, we just coming to that section of the Bhagavad Gita, but जैसे आपने भी समझाया और we quoted René Descartes, cogito ergo sum, he used to say, I think therefore I am. Don't you think so? अगर हम इसको reverse कर दें, I am
therefore I
first,
think.
Therefore I think.
So,
isn't
yeah,
it true? Like, अगर हम let's stick to this part of consciousness which you relate to, which I relate to, which I think a lot of people here relate to. We, as Indians, we understand this consciousness कि yes, there is an Atma, there is a Paramatma. वो consciousness is जिसको हम सत्य चिदानंद कहते हैं, जो भगवद गीता में भी उसका सबसे अच्छा मीनिंग है, So आज जब आप भगवद गीता की अभी जैसे आप बात कर रहे हैं, and first time you go for a leadership coaching session, etc. And probably it's a multinational corporation, a person or a group of people who've not heard of Bhagavad Gita. How do you explain? You had an experience, you studied so much. फिर आप उनको कैसे कहते हैं? This is the foundational scripture which can help you realize or reach your highest potential, whatever you are.
Before I respond to this, you mentioned about I think, therefore I am. And I can't help myself. This is this silly joke. So, René Descartes, he's sitting in this typical French cafe, and he orders a coffee. And he had his coffee, and then the lady approaches and she said that, would you like to have another coffee? And René Descartes says, I don't think, and he disappears. Because I think, therefore I am. So if I don't think, I am not.
I don't think so. Okay.
So he disappeared.
This is nice.
Okay. There are multiple points through what you asked. Before I respond to that, let me also just go back when I said when at the peace, at that calmness, Bhagavad Gita emerged, I made this statement. What did I really mean? What I meant by that? I didn't mean Bhagavad Gita as a scripture emerged for me. I'm not talking about those 700 verses जो वेद व्यास जी के महाभारत के अंदर I think भीष्म पर्व में छुपे हुए हैं. I'm not talking about, that's not Bhagavad Gita for me. Look at the literal meaning of Bhagavad Gita, and I shared this with you earlier also. It's a song.
It's a song.
It's a divine song. What does song indicates? It's a poetry. Which means it is something to be experienced from the heart, not from the head. It's not the words. It's not a web of words. It's the silences between those words where the verses lies. So when I say Bhagavad Gita, I meant the creativity, the silences, the divine silences. So I take back to coaching. When I say coaching, so those divine silences need not necessarily be, so for me, even a Quran is a divine song. Even a Bible is a divine song for me. Because it's, again, I said, it's a poetry. And in the poetry, the silences, the beauty, the creativity of the poetry is what for me Bhagavad Gita is. So song means, it's not the words, it's what's behind the words and the silences between the words, which are very important. That's where the crux lies. So for me, a Quran or a Guru Granth Sahib or a Bible, they are Bhagavad Gita for me.
Okay.
Okay, so when I say from that silence, Bhagavad Gita emerged, it's that song of the divine that emerges. Now let's bring it on the ground. So this is where the I would say the experience goes in of experiencing the song of the divine.
Let's get it to matter.
Now,
practical application.
Let's cover it. What does it mean in a real world? Now, again, to listen to the end objective is the way that when I'm doing coaching or when I'm interacting, the end objective, let's put an objective, let's put an end to it, a goal to it. Goal is to be able to listen to this song of the divine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that means there is a preparation that's required to listen to that song of the divine, and that preparation are actual practices.
Okay.
Okay. Call it, there are different methodologies that exist. One of the methodologies to be able to listen. Okay, if I were to listen to the song of the divine, there has to be a silence, right?
Right.
Silence of what? The silence of the mind, the silence of the word. The word around, silence of the word, and the silence of the mind. This is the silence of the word and the silence of the mind is the definition of samadhi. That's what samadhi is. So if you go through Ashtang Yoga, Patanjali's Ashtang Marg, so the 8-limbed methodology is all taking us to samadhi, to the silence of the mind and the silence of the word, when both have been silenced. So what is the silence of the mind? Silence of the mind does not mean the suppression of the mind, it's the transcendence of the mind. It's a no-mind state, what it's called. Now, to make this happen, there are certain practices, easy practices which are there. And why we do this? Again, I repeat, it is for the silence. Why the silence is needed? To listen to the song of the divine.
Yes.
And what happens when you listen to the song of the divine? You become one with the divine. You are the divinity itself. You realize that. The realization happened or the awakening happened. What is Buddha? Buddha means the awakened one. The awakening happened. That's the thing. Now, how do we do this? And these are multiple ways of doing it. So, and it has stages. As I said, Ashtanga Marga is one of the stages. So, and let's again look at it the way that through my experiences, I keep on, I'm my own guinea pig, so I keep on experimenting on myself. What I realized, the first foremost step to this journey is to be selfish.
Okay, for yourself.
For myself.
For yourself.
Now, what does it mean to be selfish? Because the first time when I was, when I mentioned this, I mean, there was literally people getting, what the hell do you mean by being selfish? All the
scriptures
everyone tells us to be selfless, and here you are saying you are promoting selfishness. I said, yes. I said, think about it. You are, let's say, going in an airplane. You have the air hostess coming in. She gives you the instructions. What does she tell you about the oxygen mask?
First, help yourself.
First, put your own oxygen mask. Even if you have a child, a small child, ignore that child for that particular second. First, put on your own oxygen mask, because once your own oxygen mask is there, you are in a better position to help. So, in a way, that person is being selfish by putting on his or her own oxygen mask, but also it's not an act of selfishness, because the reason the person is putting on the oxygen mask is able to help others. So be selfish so that you can be selfless. So selfish and selflessness are two sides of the same coin. Nice. And both goes together. So it cannot be कि मैं ना coin का सिर्फ head वाला part रखूंगा, tail वाला part नहीं रखूंगा. So the moment you be selfish, selflessness automatically comes. So be selfish. Which means, what do you mean by being selfish?
Yes, that's very important.
And this is the first thing I started doing. Dhruv, you've seen a circle, right? Any circle. Circle has a center and a circle has a circumference. Now, is the center dependent on the circumference, or the circumference is dependent on the center?
Circumference is dependent on the
circumference is dependent on the center, because with the same center, हम जब पहले अब कभी हम circle बनाते हैं ना, like even if you do the compass, first we take a center and then we start drawing the circle, right? With the same center, I can draw different circles.
Yes.
So the circumference is dependent on the center.
Right.
The question is, in our life, when we are living, who is to be in the center? That's where selfishness comes in.
Okay.
We be our own center. Nobody else can be in our center. Neither our parents nor our kids, nothing. Put yourself in the center and then start operating in the world. That's the start point.
Yes.
Rest, everything is on the circumference. How do we live? जी हम दूसरों के लिए जिएंगे. The moment you say you start living for the others, who's come into the center? The other has
person.
come into the center. Where have you moved? You have moved out of the center to the circumference. And the moment you lose your natural position of being in the center, discomfort starts coming in, discontent starts coming in.
True.
The peace, the alignment of the head, heart, and the hand, the 3H, the alignment gets disturbed because you have been dislodged from the center. So first and foremost, start operating by putting yourself in the center.
Yes.
Pehle
Nice.
मैं.
With the right intention.
With an intent. पहले मैं, with the intent is मेरे रहते, मैं जब center में आ जाऊंगा, so that I am aligned completely, I am at peace, I am in my natural state, the flow is natural, it is neutral, then the energy that I emanate out, that would be something which would be extremely radiant, extremely positive. I'm using the word positive here. Rather, a better word would be, it would be a very neutral energy.
And why is it so important to, yes, keeping in center, I understand you are most important for yourself, but why do we have to radiate a positive energy? Why do we have to think, you want to think of your immediate family? That's
Sure.
understandable. Okay. But why do we say help others also? I understand this, but how do you explain? A person who's profit oriented, because जब तक हम अपनी needs पूरी नहीं करते अनीश जी, I mean, you know, जब तक मेरे पास खाने पीने का पैसा नहीं है, एक secure job नहीं है, एक family और एक relationship नहीं है, I don't move up the ladder of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. और only जब मैं पूरा satisfied हूँ, तभी मैं दूसरों के लिए सोच सकता हूँ. So selfishness is defined like this, कि हम पहले अपनी पूरी needs पूरी करें.
What happens is, the moment you are in the center, you are whole, you are complete. The moment you experience that fullness, that Purnam, Adbhutam अपने आप होगा.
अद्भुतम
अपने आप होगा.
वो क्या होता है इसका मतलब?
अद्भुत.
अद्भुत. अच्छा, magical or something. Okay.
So what happens is, choicelessly आप emanate करोगे, radiate करोगे, choicelessly. It's not that you have to take any action to be selfishness. No. अपने आप होगा. The moment the Purnam, the completion, you experience the completion. And that is only possible when you reclaim your center. The relationships. Now you talked about profitability. Let's say in a business, profit. If I'm running a business, I'm running for the profit. If I'm running for the profit and I'm running for the profit, who comes in the center?
Profit.
Profit comes in the center. You've been dislodged from the center. Keep on running. Even if you get it, you've lost your center, there would be a sense of dissatisfaction. I have interacted with, worked with so many executives who've been chasing either profit,
Success,
power, position, prestige. The moment you start chasing something, you have been dislodged from the center. Now, reverse the thing. Be in the center. Be in the center. And then whatever work you were doing, continue doing that, keeping yourself in the center. And you see, you experience the change yourself. And again, Dhruv, personal, professional, social, family, spiritual, different aspects of life. We are not, as a human, we cannot have these compartments. We are same
We are one.
in all. ऐसा नहीं कि जी मैं ऑफिस में अलग बिहेव करूंगा, घर आके अलग बिहेव करूंगा, फ्रेंड्स के साथ अलग बिहेव, ऐसा नहीं होता है. ये compartments doesn't exist.
I totally agree.
Right? The moment you are in the center, the relationships, the beauty, the strength, the depth of the relationships you'd experience, because आप जब खुद काम हो, आप खुद centered हो, आप वही दे सकते हो जो आपके पास है. The moment you are centered, you are calm, the calmness emanates from you.
So इस centeredness को क्या हम कहते हैं? To realize your swadharma.
Okay, words are many.
I know.
Okay, swadharma definitely is one of the ways. Now again, dharma center में या self center में. Let's push the boundaries here. Dharma. What is dharma? Dharma, let's say duties. Let's say duties. Yeah. The moment, it's a very ugly word, duty. Okay. ये मेरी duty है. That means I am made to do something. It's my duty. I'm made to do something. If I'm made to do something, what is in the center? That's something or me? If I'm made to do something.
No, the duty is in the center.
The duty, what I'm being made to do comes into the center. I've lost my center. That's not sadharma. Duty is not sadharma. That's a very distorted meaning of swadharma. Swadharma means my own centering.
Yes.
That is the literal meaning of swadharma. My own centering.
Self-duty. That is swadharma. You know, duty to yourself first.
Again, the moment say duty to yourself.
अब हम उसको धर्म को हम duty कह रहे हैं.
So I'm very, very careful using my words. I'm choosing my words very, very carefully. Because duty, again, I repeat, has a very different connotation in today's world. So I would leave it at the point. Swadharma just mean to reclaim your center or to hold your center or to be in the center. And I've personally experienced the more that I'm able to hold my center, the output of that, even though output is not in my control, but I see it happening, the positive, the beautiful effect on all the aspects of my interactions, of my experiences, simple thing of holding my center. Another thing, I'll give it to you. We talk about how fit we are. We talked about fitness, right? What is fit? So I take it fit is nothing but an acronym. F is frequency.
Okay.
I is intensity. And T is time to rebound.
Okay.
Which means, see, when I'm trying to work holding my center, many times I will slip. Just a simple. We were profit chase kar rahe, so I didn't even realize that profit na center mein aa gaya. I'm already on the circumference. Like anger. If I am driven by the anger, who's in the center?
The anger is
the center. I'm driving the anger. Who's in the center?
Yeah.
I am in the center. Yep. Desire. If I'm driven by the desire in the center. If I'm dancing with the desire with awareness, I'm in the center, I'm dancing with the desire. Desire has no hold on me. Now coming back to FIT. So the frequency is my frequency of holding myself in the center. Intensity is with what intensity I'm able to hold my center. Time to rebound, when I lose my center, how quickly can I come back? The moment I have a fit score, this shows how fit I am. One practice, just a practice of being aware, with awareness, hold your center.
And what is a practice to do this for a new person, a new mentee who comes to you? He understands all these things. Or wo bole?
Simple. When I start the coaching, to make it tangible.
Yes.
To make it more tangible, to make it as a practice. So I just put out a thought to them, maybe just make a note how well today I was able to hold my center. Rate yourself. Not the question of, bhai, maine shayad 1 rate kiya. That's okay. Bhai, main aaj din mein, let's say,
write down the situation. Jahan
main hold kar paya.
So, should I say every person who's writing this, whenever he lost his temper, which was, his anger was not in his control, he lost his center?
I've lost my center.
Note कर लो. A strong desire कि मेरे को जाना है था, desire देखी यार नहीं यार, goal तो ये है life का. Everything which takes us outside of ourselves, outside the center, is what's disturbing our inner harmony. And that's where the discontentment comes. That was very interesting, you know. I mean,
correct. So head, the thinking, heart, the feeling, the hand, the doing.
The doing.
So the moment you are in the center, the alignment is complete, the head, heart, of the hand. And
I'm beautiful. I mean, a thought came, but I'll just share with you, but you do continue because this thought came. And these are the 3 ways of yoga, of union, you know, Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and the Karma Yoga. And these 3 aspects of your consciousness they have to be lined together because they're not exclusive, right?
Correct. So coming back to this, a simple practice, just make a note. Either way, make a note, कब मैं सेंटर को होल्ड कर पा रहा हूं, कहां मैंने सेंटर को होल्ड कर पाया, और जहां wherever I am able to hold my center, expand that. The second way, जहां नहीं कर पा रहा हूं, make a note of कहां नहीं हो पा रहा. Either way, whichever works for you, it doesn't matter. Okay. Some people I've worked with who says, nahi, mujhe na ye dekhna hai where I'm not able to hold on. Fair enough. Okay. Some people say, I want to see where I'm able to hold on so that I can make it even more deeper and deeper. Fair enough.
So these becomes your strengths and this becomes your weaknesses. Wherever you can't hold,
yeah,
those are weaknesses.
This is the start point. Okay. You asked me a beginner.
Yes, yes.
So it's the first step. So just, and what are we doing? Whether it's a yes or no, hum kar kya rahe hain? We are being an observer.
Yeah.
So we are creating a space between the action and evaluation. There's a space that's been created. So this is what a very, very basic rudimentary way, Sakshi Bhav se bhai, a beginner level. Because right now we are treating Sakshi, witness, as a verb, not as a noun. As we go further into this, the verb transforms into a noun. The witnessing is not a verb, remains a word itself, verb itself, it becomes a noun. But anyway, that's for later. To start with, just observe.
Okay.
Be an observer.
And do this exercise on a daily basis.
Hold on to your center. Hold on to your center. Hold on to your mantra karna hai na, Om Bhurvasva ya jo bhi karte rehte hai. Hold on to your center. Hold on to your center. Hold on to your center. And Dhruv, you see the magic happening. You see the magic in the relationships. You see the magic in the working. I was working with one of the executives, and it's a family firm.
Okay.
And he is the owner of that firm. I won't take the name. The company was dealing with a very high attrition. And losing a trained resource is one of the main pain for any company, and more so if it is a small MSME, because that's the
yes.
goal. And the attrition rate was high. So I was working, and so with this individual, we were working on something else. So, and he said that, Anish, there is this attrition problem that I'm having. I said, okay, leave that problem out. Okay. Let's talk about centering. He said, what do you mean? I've come here to talk about attrition. I want to find out ways to explore the ways to reduce my attrition. I said, leave that out for a minute. Just let's start with very simple centering. He said, what that has got to do with the attrition? I said, just be with me, bear with me for some days. So we started working on the centering. The more that he got himself centered, the more calmness set in him. The more the energy imprints of the office, which were very aggressive, very turbulent, because he was not at peace. The culture, so-called culture of an organization, of a company, is driven by the person on the top.
Yes.
Right? If the person on the top is turbulent, the energy imprints in the company are going to be turbulent.
Okay.
The more that he could hold on to his center, his fit score started going up. The calmness started descending in the company. The attrition rate on itself fell down. Because if you're working at an attrition level, you're working at an effect level, not at the cause level.
Yes.
And he was trying to work out ways to, jaise weed hoti hai na. So if the weed is growing, you just trim the weeds will grow faster. Unless until you pull the weed out. So simple thing of working on the center or keeping himself in the center, eased out completely or to quite an extent, which reduced the attrition rate significantly for him. And he was surprised. And not only that, he shared his relationship with his spouse, his interaction with his children.
Everything, obviously.
Everything got changed.
Yeah.
By simple one, very, very, I would say
This was the exercise which you asked him to do?
This is precisely
simply an introspection.
Simple.
Create a gap between your actions and
just observe.
Observe your reaction.
Where am I able to? So he worked on where he was able to hold on to the center. I said, fair enough. Make a note of this. And ask yourself this question: did I do my best today to hold my center? Simple. Think about this statement. Did I do my best today to hold my center?
Okay.
Because suppose I end of the day, some situations I may not. Fair enough. Fair enough. Did you try?
Yeah. You have to be aware of it if you want to change. Yes.
Awareness.
Did I try or not?
And one is awareness. The second is today. That means tomorrow the clock starts again.
Yes.
You got another chance. So keep on working that. So diligently, rather I didn't have to say after few days of doing it, it became so much real for him. And when he started seeing the impact outside it, he was zapped. Anish, ek cheez se, sirf centering se. I said, yes, just sirf centering se.
So Anish ji, beautiful exercise. Thank you so much. This is when I am understanding something, there are certain problems going on and you help me come to my center. But what if not one, not two, many problems, or aisa kabhi sabki life mein hota hai, everything falls apart. Lots of problems coming at the same time. And really, center mein lana to bahut dur ho jati hai. What you require at that point of is some clarity, so that you can at least work on that level ki main aware hu and start solving problem one thing at one point of time. That's the only way to do. So clarity, again, I'm a mentee to you and I come with this problem and I want an immediate result.
Achha, Dhruv, ek baat batao. You've seen mountains, right?
Yes.
Peaks.
Peaks.
Let's say peaks you've seen.
Just seen, not experienced.
Yeah, peaks. Let's say from a distance you've seen peaks, right? You've also seen the valleys.
Yes.
Okay. The higher the peak, the deeper the valley.
Yes.
Can a peak exist without a valley?
No.
No. Right? So which means if nothing is going my way, the problems are happening. You're deep down into the valley. The more deeper down you're into the valley, what's going to happen?
The more difficult.
The more higher the peak, a possibility to be there, right? So very simple. Rest in the valleys to enjoy the peak. Peak to aayega.
Peak to aayega.
The question being, when I am going through a bad phase, what do I do?
Yeah.
Rest. Just rest.
It's not so easy to rest.
This is where the mind comes in.
Yes.
This is where the mind tells you, how dare you rest? Yahan problem chal rahi hai aur tum keh rahe ho rest karo.
Exactly. If you say ki koi action mat karo, abhi thoda sa.
Rest. Just rest. When you are resting, what are you doing?
Okay, in such a case, you'll only be thinking.
What are you doing when you are resting? When I'm saying resting, it's not physical rest, it's verbal. Okay, actions 3 prakar se hote hain. 3 ways we do action. Verbal, mental, and physical. So when we talk rest, verbal rest, mental rest, physical rest. So when I'm resting, what I'm doing to the energy?
No, you're reviving that energy.
I'm resting.
Yes.
I'm not consuming my energy. If
Yes.
I'm not consuming, I'm conserving.
Conserving the
Right?
energy.
Either there is a consumption of energy or there is a conservation of energy. Right? So when I'm resting, I'm actually conserving my energy. And when the time comes to climb the peak, and it will come, peaks would start coming in. Imagine if I haven't conserved my energy, I'm exhausted through mental chattering, to verbal chattering, to physical chattering. I'm exhausted and I'm on the peak now. Can I enjoy the peak when I don't have energy? You can't, right? So which means to enjoy the peak, peaks will come, valleys will come. To enjoy those peaks, just rest in the valley, conserve your energy. Energy, do we have limited or unlimited?
Limited.
Limited. Effort, limited or unlimited? Limited.
Limited.
Time, limited or
100%
limited?
limited.
So time, energy, effort, these are my resources. And all 3 are limited. Now imagine, let me give you this example, Dhruv. You have a certain amount of money. Obviously, we all have whatever is the quantum, but there is a limit to the money. And you have multiple financial instruments in front of you to invest. How do you choose which instrument to invest? आपके पास limited money. You can't invest everywhere. You have to pick and choose some financial instruments.
Okay, whichever will give me the best rate of return.
ROI, and the return on investment.
I will wait for it or something till the time I don't get the best timing, opportunity.
Correct. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to look at the ROI. Correct? Return on investment, कि किसमें मेरा ROI better होगा. जिसमें मुझे लगता है, I feel that at this point, this is where my ROI is going to be good. I am going to invest. And once I've invested, I'll wait and observe. And if my ROI is not as per expectation, I have three options. Either I take everything back out, or I may leave everything still there, thinking maybe future mein aa jayega, or I may partial do a redemption. I can do anything. But then the point being that I know my resources are limited. I have to look for the best ROI. And as the scenario comes and keeps on coming, I'll keep on taking a decision, either to put a stop loss or to leave it there, keep a watch, under observation, or remove something, keep on going. Is exactly the same thing. The moment I am in the valley, put a stop loss to the energy.
Drain of energy.
To the energy. Put a stop loss. Hold on. Hold on.
Give me an exercise. I mean, it's not so easy. अगर आदमी को actually valley में when he's down and under so many problems, और मैं आज उसको बोलूँ भी, start meditating or start learning or something, do.
कुछ नहीं होगा.
कुछ नहीं होता.
कुछ नहीं होगा. Simple.
So any tangible exercise.
Two things.
Okay.
Number one, come back to the center. That's the first exercise. That's like,
okay,
that has to happen. उसके बगैर कुछ नहीं होगा. जैसे ही आप सेंटर में पहुंचे, immediately if the mind chattering starts, which it will start, forget about meditation, वो सब कहने की बातें होता नहीं है. Chattering शुरू होगी. Thinking, mind is designed to think.
Think, yes.
अब उसको कहा भैया तू सोच मत, ऐसा नहीं होगा. सोच उठेगी. So all that one can do, and try this out whenever possible. Okay. Ask yourself this question. I have a limited energy resource. Is particular thought mein how much I am ready to invest my energy in? Just ask yourself this question. Don't try to suppress the thought. Don't try to block, or don't try to just flow with the thought. Ask yourself this question. Dhruv, I have this thought coming in. How much of my energy am I ready to invest in this particular thought? Let's say मेरा thinking आ रहा है यार सब कुछ खत्म होने वाला है यार पता नहीं क्या होगा कल को मेरे पास maybe I've got a huge financial loss in my company कल को पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है. A thought comes in. It's a thought, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's not happened. It is taking me into creating some future thing for me, and this is what the mind does. Either it delves in the past or it creates something for the future, right? This is mind can be present bhi ho sakta. The moment the mind in the present, it's called the no mind. Because
or you're actually then in the center, right? There you are, living each and every moment.
I didn't want you to say that because that is precisely what being in the center is. You are in the moment. And the moment you are in the moment, Dhruv, the thoughts are not troubling you. You are actually managing the thoughts. Thoughts are not managing you in a way. So the point is to keep it very simple. As I say, KIS is keep it simple, stupid. So keeping it simple, just ask yourself, Dhruv, how much energy am I ready to invest in this thought? What is my ROI by investing in this?
Is it even helping me to just...
अगर ROI नहीं है,
I know.
तो stop loss करो ना. I'll put a stop loss. The moment you... Okay, thoughts are just like shadows. Only structure, no substance.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the initial structure and substance. What is it that is only structure, a shape with no substance? Illusion. So thoughts are nothing but illusion. The moment आप उस पे light डालोगे ना,
reality
shadows disappear कर जाती है.
True.
So these thoughts, all it requires is to put a light on those thoughts. And how do you put a light on those thoughts? Asking a question. Boss, मैं इस thought भी ये thought आ रहा है, कितनी energy लगाऊं? जैसे ही आप ये पूछोगे ना, आप देखोगे thought ही disappear कर गया. Beautifully rest, conserve your energy in the valleys. And you know the beautiful part, the more you are able to hold yourself in the center, the more you relax, you'll realize there are neither peaks nor valleys.
No peaks, no valleys.
This is where you've transcended the good, bad, positive, negative. You've transcended that. This is what the actual synthesis is. Synthesis is not bringing positive and negative together. Synthesis means transcending that where positive and negative has no meaning left. This is actual centering.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. When I was just listening to you, and I'm trying to be a mentee, but मैंने अपने आप को visualize किया, okay, down and under. And yes, आपने ये बोला, just come to your center. But वहाँ से I am looking at reaching the peak also. And that's fine. And that's my experience. Till the time मैं peak पे नहीं पहुँचूंगा, तब तक मुझे realize नहीं होगा कि same ही है. Energy डाल के वहाँ पहुँचा. So and everyone has to go through this experience. There are aspirations and there are ambitions, and which is also fine, right? You should have that. You've centered us. You've also explained us how to conserve our energies in trouble and turbulent times. वो सब मैंने कर लिया, and now I have the energy. I have decent amount of understanding now doing these exercises. One exercise, now I want to make some aspirational goals for myself. Financial goals, health goals, a perfect life, a dream life. And again, I come to a coach, and mostly I think a lot of people come for these reasons also. उनको first चीज क्या कहते हो? Again.
Okay. Yeah, see, number one, दो चीजें मैं आपसे share करूंगा. Two things. One is I have come across people who come to me and says, Anish, ये goal set करना क्या बुरा है? I've heard this also. I say, okay, if you are driven by the goal, who's in the center?
Yeah, the goal is in
the goal is in the center. And what is the cardinal rule? What is the first principle?
You have to be in
that means you drive the goal. So set the goal,
okay,
provided you are driving it. And what is a goal? Goal is a direction, as an indication, just an indication. Yeah. Now you have an indication कि भाई ठीक है, मेरा health का suppose goal है, या whatever the goal is. I've taken a certain goal. That's an indication. Now, what do I do with it? I have an indication. What is the key? I be in my center, number one. Number two, conservation of energy through stop loss, and looking for the greatest ROI. Basics.
Yeah.
Correct? इन चीजों को हमको बस ध्यान में रखना है. अब मैं बढ़ता हूं. अब यह आता है, यार ये करना है, ये करना है, ये करना है. सबसे पहले सेंटर में आ जाओ. करना नहीं है, because the moment you said I have to, you already lost your center. वो जो have to है वो सेंटर में चला गया. Hold on to your center, and being in the center, now start moving. And how do you move? One shot at a time. One shot at a time. One shot at a time. This you've reminded me, Dhruv. There is this movie I watched, The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Okay.
It's a movie on golf. It's a real movie. So
real story.
It's a real story. And you have this US Open happening. And in this US Open, I don't remember the year, let's say years back. And so there is this amateur who gets a chance to play in the Open. And he comes from a very poor family, so he doesn't even have money to have a caddy to carry his clubs. So there's a small boy. He says that, come, I'll carry. So his name is, the player's name is Francis Ume, if I remember correctly. Anyway, so the boy says that, listen, you don't have money. I'll carry the clubs for you. He's a small kid. And he says, fine, because I don't have money. So now he's standing on the first hole. And he hits the ball, and he's playing. And obviously there's word number one, word number two, all the top players are there. And this guy is playing his first professional. And he's seeing all these big top players, top names around him. He's like totally. So he reaches to the green, and there now he has to putt into the ball, into the hole. And there are people who are standing all around him. He sees the word number one standing next, just a few yards away, watching him. And so he takes out his putter, Francis Ume, and he has to putt it. And his hand is going like this. Shaking. He's totally destroyed. Like shaking, and he's looking at people all around. Oh my God, what will happen? Will I be able to make it? Not make it? And he's If I don't make it, that means I'm down by a shot. Then next hole, I have to cover this. And it's like on and on and on and on and on. His hand is going like this. The small kid walks up to Francis Ome and says, one shot at a time. Just this statement, one shot at a time. And his hands from this goes like this. And he makes the putt. He goes on to win the US Open.
Beautiful.
With just, and it wasn't, I have to win the US Open. No.
No. Just play that shot.
One shot at a time. Yes, there is somewhere in the wake, okay, I'll do my best and this is US Open. Fair enough. It's okay. Done, dusted. That thought is there, put to rest. Now, one shot at a time. One shot at a time. One shot at a time. So Dhruv, one shot at a time.
Okay, beautiful. That's it. This is exactly what Bhagavad Gita teaches, when it says, don't be anxious about the future. Don't regret your past. Be in the present and just give your 100%. Isi ko nishkam karm kehte, right?
Yeah, again, words.
No, it's words, it's written.
Words.
So, but hum uske meaning mein ja rahe hain.
So, very simple. What is nishkam karm? Nishkam karm is, again, as you rightly said, neither past nor future. Abhi hai, usko one shot at a time. From what? Center.
Yes.
Centering from the center, play a one shot. And remember, conservation of energy, rest in the peak, rest in the valleys to enjoy the peaks. ये ना हो कि वैलीज में रेस्ट नहीं किया, एनर्जी है नहीं, तो पीक पे पहुंचेंगे तो मजा ही नहीं आएगा. Love, live, lighten the load, and
beautiful.
That's what life is all about.
That's your statement for the audience also.
Live, love, laugh, lighten the load.
So just before closing, and this was a masterclass with one of the most prominent coaches of India, and really we've had a masterclass like a coaching session. But before he leaves, he's written a book and he gifted me one. I've yet not read it. I just went through the pages and the title is so intriguing. So before he leaves, I just want him to explain this title. We've been talking about consciousness. We've been talking about God. And he's written a book which is called God is Fired. And when I asked him, you firing God, right? And he said, you read it and you'll get to know. But I've not been able to read, but for everyone, it's a very intriguing title. I just, there'll be a closing line. You can explain people why and what does it mean.
So Dhruv, I hold retreats.
Okay.
They're called the Icon retreats.
Yes.
So I just completed, so my last retreat was in Malta, where was the last retreat was in Malta, where this started. And then last retreat was in Goa, where I completed this and I showed this. So this is where the first time this was put out in Goa. And this question comes in, what is this God is fired? What does it really mean? And what is the background to it? So it's actually based on a real life incident. So the series is called the Mystic Millionaire series, under which this is the second book that I've written. So to give you the background, the Mystic Millionaire series is about these 4 super successful friends from my alma mater, IIT Roorkee.
Financially successful.
Financially successful 4 people. Prestige, power, position.
Materially successful. Materially successful.
They have it all.
Yeah.
One of them is a bureaucrat, a senior bureaucrat. The other one is a builder. They're actual people. They're actual friends. So I've just changed the name, but they're actual friends. I met them during my 25th reunion. The third one is an IT professional. He's an NRI. And the fourth one is working in a local IT company. So these are these 4 friends. And everything they have, but still there is something missing. And one of the person, so I was in touch with him. So we talk a lot. So one day, so this is during COVID period. So the COVID had just ended. So this was 2021. So the clubs have just opened. So one day I get a call from him that, Anish, I want to meet you in the evening. I said, fair enough, come over. So he comes. He said that, can we go to the club? I said, fair enough, let's go to the club. Here we are in the club. He said, I want to drink today. I said, okay, fair enough. And he's a person, every day he would go to the temple.
Okay.
Every day after the office, he'll go to the temple. So he said, Anish, from today onwards, I've decided not to go to the temple. So, okay. What happened? Obviously, the obvious question is, I asked him what happened. He says, you know what? In 2020, when the COVID hit, so he works in an IT company. So he said, the business obviously started coming down. And I had a feeling that very soon I may lose my job. 3 months back, I had put in a request, a prayer to the God that, please, I know I'm going to lose my job and I've got these things, obligation, responsibilities at my home. So before I lose my job, I should get another job.
Okay.
So before I'm fired, because one day I'm going to lose my job. And you know what, Anish, today I've been asked to leave the company and I still don't have a job. I asked God for just one thing and see if he can't even give me that. Why am I going to the temple every day? So I said, oh my God, this is so brilliant. He says, what do you mean? He says, today you have fired God. So he says, what do you mean? He says, yeah. I said, yeah, you fired God. God didn't perform as per your expectation. So you actually gave God also a 3 months to come up the speed. You put him on a performance improvement plan of 3 months. After the PIP, the God has not performed to your satisfaction. You have a full right to fire God. You did the right thing. So I'm totally in support of you that you fired God. But allow me to ask you one thing. When did you hire God? Yeah, you fired him, but before firing, you must have hired also. So when did you hire God? How did you make God sign on the appointment letter with the KPIs, the KRAs, that, okay, these are the delivery things that you're going to deliver for me. Based on that, your performance would be evaluated. And if you don't perform, you'll be put on a 3 months of a notice period. If during the notice period, if you don't come up to speed, you'll lose your job. Show me that, the appointment letter of the God, so that I can also hire God. Now that you fired God, God is jobless. I can hire him. So he was stunned for a few. He started thinking, he says, oh my God, you're right. When did I hire God that I could fire? When did God agree that it's going to happen the way I want it to happen? From there, the title comes in, God is fired.
Beautiful. And the story is there in this book?
Story is there.
Oh, beautiful. This is nice. Thank you so much, Anishji, for beautiful, valuable time. And I'm going to share his link in the description, his email or something. And anybody, if you're looking for some guidance, clarity or coaching, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. You can get in touch with him through that email. And anything you would like to know, you can just drop in a comment in the comment section and I shall get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhruv. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. It was beautiful.